So when I saw my MetaMask like emptied, I was like, my vision did, and I started to feel like I was like, oh shit. And I had this kick of adrenaline, and I was like, okay, let's fucking destroy them.
Matt, what's happening, man? How you feeling?
Good, Sam. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man. A little hot in New York City, but we're pushing through, man. Weather's great in the metaverse. Let me tell you that, though. What's who we got lined up today?
Man, we have got a special guest today. We finally got Fvckrenderverse straight from Vancouver. For those of you who don't know him, he's one of the most successful 3D artists in the NFT space. He sold millions in sales, multiple six-figure one-of-ones, including a recent 107K sale at Sotheby's natively digital auction. He's collaborated with A-listers like Zedd on his Nifty drop, and he has an extremely ambitious Fvckrenderverse concept for his releases. I think he's really taking it to the next level. I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he incredibly smart person, and obviously kind of got his start doing 3D client work and really has made a powerful entrance as a kind of crypto artist and has had a lot of success with his NFTs. And I think we speak around what are some of the things he's been really intentional about with regards to building community that's really enabled that level of success, how he tries to uplift and collaborate with other artists, some of the things that he's really excited about as the market continues to evolve and mature, and what are some of the other specific kind of verticals outside of just art and crypto art where NFTs will really penetrate in a very disruptive way. So I think we covered a lot of ground in this episode, and really, really grateful to have had him on. So really excited to dive in. One quick note before we do that, though, I do want to encourage you to check out our newsletter at nftnow.co. There we simplify the market into actionable insights once a week, sending through a kind of update that curates a lot of the best updates, interesting market movements, upcoming drops. Simple way, just go nftnow.co to sign up there. And without any further ado, Fvckrenderverse.
Fred, how's it going, man?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Really glad to finally have you on the podcast. Let's go.
Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, I know that we've been chatting for a long time, and you've been doing so much in the space since this conversation started. For those who may not know your background, would love to just dive a little bit into how you started with 3D work to begin with. I was doing some research. I saw that there was a bicycle accident that kind of set everything into motion. So take us through the formative chapters of your career.
Yeah, so I pretty much started like 7 years ago. I was working full time at a restaurant called Romeo's Pizzeria, which was like a very nice little neighborhood restaurant. I was waiter there, and I was doing a lot of cycling back then, like semi-professional. I actually did a race in Brooklyn, not in Red Hook, called the Red Hook Crit back then. But yeah, so I was doing a lot of cycling, and I did Montreal to Boston, and I think it was 3 days. And when I came back, I had two vertebrae that was displaced. So all my left side was completely numb. Like it's still a little bit numb, but it's way better than it was. So yeah, so I could still work. It was kind of painful, but I couldn't do like much more exercise. And I'm the type of person that really needs my brain to be like running 24 hours like a day, because otherwise like I get too anxious or stuff like this. I'm way better now, but back in the days it was like completely terrible. My anxiety was nasty. So yeah, so I decided to just learn something. So I tried many things. Honestly, I tried so many different things. And one day I was like, oh, I'd like to do something on the computer. And I downloaded Blender, and I didn't like it. And I downloaded Cinema 4D, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. There was a little bit more resource for Cinema 4D back then. And yeah, just like I was doing 40 hours a week at the restaurant. I was literally doing 40 hours a week of just learning to do shit on my computer. And yeah, it's pretty much started like this.
I love it. And then, I mean, over time, obviously you kind of refined your skills and improved a lot, and then really got into a place where you entered into the NFT community. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the transition into NFTs specifically?
Yeah, honestly, it was pretty smooth. I was literally just doing what I was doing before, but like instead of like it was just like it was super interesting at first because it was so new for me and it was pretty new for everybody. So but yeah, just my two friends, it was Alexi, which is Aphoria, and Jason Ebeyer. They told me a little bit about crypto, and I was like that crypto art, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I signed up to Super Rare, got accepted, and minted my first piece there. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's weird, man. Like I don't know, like it's like I was so used to just do like commercial work. Like literally for the past like 4 or 5 years, I was doing like 80 hours to 100 hours a week of client work, which leads me to like a couple burnouts and major depression, which I really don't recommend anybody to work more than what they can really do. But yeah, I don't know. Like it was pretty smooth. Like
That's awesome. No, I mean, it kind of liberating now too, that I'm sure you get to just kind of create for yourselves and for your community. And I think that's one piece of feedback that we really just love to hear about the NFT market in general, especially from kind of the artist perspective. And is that it almost just enables a completely new level of creativity, because you can actually just create for yourself, for your community, and not feel like you have to channel your skills into a client scope and just to satiate their needs. From your perspective, what have been some of how do you feel like that has given you this creative liberation as an artist, and how have you explored that and really pressed into that?
yeah, honestly, it's fucking crazy, man. Like before, it's gonna sound crazy what I'm gonna say, but before NFTs, there is not a lot of artwork that I look and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a very sick artwork. Like they're like I don't know. I was doing so much work that I didn't like, and I was doing so much work that I made for people to see. Like example, like what I was doing, like I was seeing a studio or an artist that I wanted to work with, so I was doing artwork kind of my own way in what they would like. So it was just like it was just not natural, and I feel now I'm just doing shit that I like. And like I have a couple pieces that I minted from the past, but these are the artwork that I personally really like. And also like I've my god, I'm sorry. Do you hear this? I don't know why I don't I'm new to this MacBook, so I don't know how to use it yet. Anyway, so yeah, the main thing was like now I still work a lot, but I work a quarter of what I used to work, and now it's more like I do art basically. I just don't have to do fucking anything else, which is pretty much the craziest part. And like I'm taking a commercial work right now, but being able to say yes and no is something so crazy because before then like I was still making a good amount of money before with commercial work. I was living pretty well, but like I had to take literally everything to make sure, because I live in Vancouver. It's fucking expensive to live here. Like yeah, rent is not like anywhere. So hey, you guys know, like in New York, it's pretty much the same. So, but yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's amazing to think. You just had a sale at Sotheby's for more than $107,000 for the natively digital auction. You've
That's so
got
big.
I know you've got this upcoming Christie's auction as well that you're a part of. Um, and I know you've talked a bit about this, that this was sort of something you had always dreamed of. Like, tell us a little bit about what being accepted by the major auction houses, what that means, what that means for you, and also what does that mean for like the 3D community, which
Yeah.
traditionally didn't really get the time of day.
Dude, this is so crazy. And I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I was like, I I applied in so many art galleries in Montreal, and there's not a lot of art galleries that let me have a piece of mine in their gallery. And the only gallery that let me do it was like Sotheby, which is a very popular digital native art gallery. But all the traditional, all the thing, they were looking at my art back then, and they were like, "Nah, dude, that's not art. Like, get the fuck out of it, like of here." And it pissed me off so much because like I always I never was like the technical guy. Like you see so many like like I feel the digital artist community and motion design community, there's two different type of person. There is the people that are super techy. They know how to do literally everything, but they do stuff for other people. And me, I fall in a category where I'm not good to like I'm not super technical. I'm not good to recreate like a perfect water simulation that will make and like a flower grow or anything. Like I'm not that kind of person. I'm more someone who wants to tell a story by what I've lived and what I'm living right now. Um, and it was pretty challenging because to get client work, you need to have like skills, like technical skills. And there's so many projects that I couldn't do because I didn't have these technical skills. Because commercial work, they don't give a fuck about your artistic like interpretation or what's inside you. They just want the end result at the end of the day. So yeah, like, but I was pretty fortunate and lucky that in some commercial work they really wanted my visual and my artistic development more than my skills, which played well for me as for some project. But yeah, I think it's crazy that we've been recognized as artists and not just digital artists, and not just like, oh, like this guy does 3D so he can do it, or shoe commercial. Like like digital art is art. Like this is, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. And honestly, it's pretty surreal to have like just add like a Sotheby's and a Christie's is personally not something I would have ever I expected. And I think it's gonna be crazy because I think in the next few months we'll see a lot of people having uh, their feet in big auction house or just their own town like art gallery. That I think that's gonna be like crazy.
1,000%. No, I mean, it's amazing to see. And I think obviously still very early on in the game. And I think just being able to empower artists, I mean, that's definitely something that drives us to do what we do every day.
Yeah. And we fucking need better screens for this, because regular TV screens is 16 by 9 or 9 by 16, depending on how you look at it. But I do 4 by 5 all the time, or pretty much all the time. So we need like different aspect ratio screen. And if you see like the Sotheby's one, like there was these black frame over it, and I don't know, like it should look better than this. And
no, I mean that'll be very interesting. I know there's a lot of like different applications that are coming to light with regards to being able to like cast NFTs, and I think obviously too, I mean even just like social networks that are coming to light where people can effectively have a kind of online portfolios or personal galleries that they can showcase. And I think it'll be very interesting to see how this experience of owning and sharing the NFTs that you own evolves over time. I'm curious, from your perspective, I mean, there's a lot of talented, and I mean, I know Matt and I spent a lot of time in music industry, and like, there's a lot of talent, and talent doesn't necessarily equate to success. Unfortunately, not. Like, it's not a meritocracy simply based off the quality and creativity of work. I think there's other factors at play. I think you've done a fantastic job at having that quality of work, but I think there's also this other intangible to your kind of rise as an artist that's really enabled this level of kind of success with your career in this kind of field of crypto art and NFTs. Outside of the actual creative pursuit, what are some of the other areas that you've really focused on and been intentional about that you think have created this strong foundation for you to succeed and truly be a successful NFT artist or crypto artist?
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about this, because I was talking about this to a friend of mine, and he's been an amazing artist and everything, but like he's always saying, oh, I need to do more shit, I need to do more stuff and stuff like this. And he told me like, dude, how do you get all you get? And I think the reason is because I fail a lot of time, and I'm not scared to try something and fail. Like if like I did couple like NFT move that was very bad for me. And even if it's bad, I can just work twice as hard and come back, and I just feel that people are too scared to try stuff and just to say yes to projects because they're scared to burn their name or stuff like this. But I think it's important to do both. I think like if you say yes to everything, you're gonna fuck up your name all the time for sure. But I think it's important to just try and explore that community and just like see where the threshold is. And like yeah, it's hard to explain in English actually, but yeah, I think it's important to be open-minded about the opportunities and possibilities that are around you, because some people just see, like, especially with NFT, people only see the money aspect, which is the most dangerous thing to see. Is if you only see the money. Yeah, I don't know. I think doing project for less money that brings you something different is very important as well. But I don't know. Yeah, I think being open-minded is what will bring you the most out of this journey, I guess.
I love that. And, it really ties into, something I wanted to discuss, which is, I think that one thing that's so special about the NFT community is just how collaborative it is. Artists are able to collect each other, they're able to co-sign each other, and they're able to collaborate with each other. And you've done that. You've co-signed and collaborated with artists like Lorona, like Beige, and really helped move the needle for them in certain ways too, which I think is so cool. I'd love to hear like your thought process around that, like artists suddenly being able to kind of like put each other on like that, and the impact that you can make. And then also, advice you might have for other artists that are trying to kind of come up.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty surreal to say that. And I don't want to say that in a braggy way, but like the other day I bought something on Ice and Tune. I don't know how to properly say that, but and after I bought it, I just like shared it, and right away all of his collection got sold out, and it's so fucking sick. Like I feel so like proud of this, to like, if I buy something, people believe in what I'm doing so much that they follow it. But it's I feel it's still very dangerous, so I need to be careful of like what I'm buying and stuff like this. And because you don't want to be like that guy who control the market or anything. But like I just love like being able to support artists and having people that supports me, that supports the artists that I'm supporting. I think this is the most powerful part of like the NFT community, is like we all kind of have or each other's back, and we all support like a very good example, like look at Mad Dog Jones. He's been supporting artists, and like every time Mad Dog like as an artist in his vision, he's like, we have a group and we're like, he's like, oh, I love this artist, she's having like a Nifty drop, we should support that. And we're like, oh yeah, that's super cool. And we all support that because we're like just one fucking big family. And it's I think that's one of the craziest part about the NFT space.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, it truly is a special and like very supportive place. I think there's this shared sense of optimism around the future, around the fact that like we're still very early, and like everybody sees this value in helping each other and creating a rising tide that can lift all ships. I don't know if this is like cynical, but I do feel like down the road, once like the market's more mature, it'll be a little more like competitive. But I don't know. I think across all. Yeah, go ahead.
You can already see it right now. Like there's a lot of like, I feel especially with foundation, like there was a very huge influx of new artists, and it sucks and it's sad, but like a lot of these artists doesn't see as much success as they would want to, and a lot of people that they really got bitter about the NFT space. Sorry. And because of this, and I'm starting to see it, like people that are complaining about like other artists having more success and stuff like this, and other NFT project, like you see like the ape versus the me bit type thing, even like the apes against the punks and stuff like this. To me, like, I don't know, man. I've always been like that. I've always put my head down and focus on what I want to do, rather than I don't give a fuck if you buy a punk or an ape, or I don't give like, or if someone that I'm not a fan of having a fucking crazy sale, just fucking proud for them. Like it's just fucking crazy. And I don't know. I just feel. I think there's gonna be more competition for sure, which is LT. Competition is LT. I think.
For sure, for sure.
But yeah, lots of people won't be seeing the success they want to, but that doesn't mean they should give up. They should just focus on what they want to do and be part of the community at the end of the day.
1,000%. In that vein, I mean, when you think about the evolution of the market, looking over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, like how do you see the NFT market continuing to evolve, and how do you really see this impacting creators across other domains? I know there's been some early wins of musicians like Blau or RAC that have done really interesting activations, but like we're still very early. And I think
I don't know if you saw BT's project on, I think it was Super Rare. It was pretty crazy, but yeah, I think art in general will be 0.1% of what NFT usage will be. Basically, I think once the like medicines and science will get into NFTs. I know I was reading this the other day. They're starting to mint blood sample on the blockchain. So because from what I know, I'm far from someone's like medicine smart, but from what I know, they have a hard time sharing data between hospitals. And I think encrypting, research documents on the blockchain for everybody to have access to these documents will be, I think it will be a big milestone. And I think this is why these area of the NFTs, the future NFT space will dwarf what art will be. And I think art will be a very tiny percentage of what the NFT usage will be. I think we'll be seeing it in so many things. I can see it in restaurants and stuff like this to keep track of like all the orders and stuff like this. But I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
For sure. I totally agree with that. And kind of like looking to the future too, it's interesting. I mean, I think in recent weeks, obviously, the NFT community has kind of grappled with some of the the education and safety side of security. Obviously, you had that high profile MetaMask hack. Just walk us through that, because that was scary, and I think everyone in the community was came out with a ton of support, but everyone was scared that like you had lost perhaps some tokens that wouldn't have been easy to recover. And thankfully, it sounds like you were able to secure the most valuable parts of.
I still lost like a very fucking bunch of money, which pissed me off on day to day. But like there's literally nothing I can do. And it was crazy because like I've been doing commercial work for 6 years, and these kind of emails or DMs, I receive that every day, 20 times a day. So it was literally they were very smart. They were like, oh, we have this. My boss wants to do this project. They have this amount of ETH for you. We have this mock-up of that our team did. Can you take a look at it and come back for us? So to me, I was like, oh yeah. And I was like on the phone with my girlfriend. And I was doing other shit. I was like, okay. I opened it and everything, and when I clicked, it didn't open anything. And I look at the extension right away, and it was a screensaver. And I was like, oh shit. That's something like that's not good. So I literally unplugged. I shut down my computer. I unplugged internet. I shut down internet. I called Wilkin from Manifold, and I was like, dude, I just did this. Did I fucked up? And he was like, oh no, no. And he was losing his shit. I was like, okay, bro, like don't fuck with me. Like, is it that bad? And he was like, okay, look at your MetaMask. And I look at my MetaMask. Everything was still there. I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I kept looking at all my account that had money in there. And I keep like, dude, I was literally all my 5 apps on my phone, like sliding. Okay, money was still there. Every fucking second I was like dragging between accounts. And I was like freaking out. And one time I look at my MetaMask whoop, 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 all these transactions. They took everything in my MetaMask. They literally swoop everything, but they haven't touched my NFTs, which was pretty cool from them. I'm kidding, they're assholes. But so when I saw my MetaMask like emptied, I was like, my vision did, and I started to feel like I was like, oh shit. And I had this kick of adrenaline, and I was like, okay, let's fucking destroy them. So Wilkin and I and Richard, we took everything and we secured literally everything before they could take everything, because they had access to all of my accounts, because I was dumb enough to save all my password on Chrome. So they had literally everything. They had literally everything. They tried to log into my Gemini. I had 2FA, which saved me a lot. They literally had all my seed phrase for all my wallets, because my seed phrase were stored on my fucking desktop. Like, how stupid this is. So yeah. So I just like, we were able to secure everything like real quick, and honestly, without the guy at Manifold, like I would probably have lost way more, like way more.
Well, I'm so glad that you didn't lose way more, and I do think that it was sort of like, as terrible as it was also sort of a teachable moment for the community. I think a lot of people, it was very, I think a lot of people learned a thing or two about best practices with security because of that.
Too.
Yeah,
I learned like, dude, that was a very expensive cybersecurity course.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
Yeah. Man, I really want to talk a little bit about some of like your pieces and the artistic scope. Like I'm so like I've told you before, like I'm super impressed by the Fvckrenderverse, the scope of the concept. Just even like starting to see it grow from the spirit stone to the soul stone to this whole world, and then multiple worlds that you're building. So I just wanted to also like allow you the opportunity to explain, to our listeners, what is the Fvckrenderverse? Like, what's the inspiration there? Like, what does the future hold for that? Like, what's your vision?
Yeah. So Fvckrenderverse is a project that I want to build long term. So I don't want like, that's why I don't like care if there's FOMO or not. Like, I'm just building my own shit, and if people want to join it, they join, and if they don't, I don't. Like, I'm not gonna push everybody to join the Fvckrenderverse. But like, the main idea behind this, it was, to me, when I sold my first NFTs, I was like, dude, like, someone just bought a JPEG basically, or a video, and I didn't understand the full concept of the blockchain and everything, but to me, I wanted to give more to the collectors. So I wanted to, so with all the pandemic and everything, and like being super far, like you cannot come in Vancouver and see my art gallery that I own with Beige and Victor and stuff like this. So I was like, how can I give to my collectors something that haven't been done before? And they could, so I created this Fvckrenderverse where all my NFTs at some point will be sitting there. And all my NFTs are there, and you can literally go see them in virtual space. So you can literally come close to them and see them in digital space, which is pretty fucking impressive, if you ask me. And even myself, I'm fucking blown away every time I go in the Fvckrenderverse. I'm like, yeah, that's so sick. That's so much fun. And like, yeah, and so yeah, it's a project that I created long term. It's a place that I want to all my NFTs to sit. I want to do like egg hunt there from time to times, and yeah, it's just a place to chill and just see my art. Basically, it's like a virtual museum, but instead of seeing like just a board with the image, you can see the actual piece sitting in space there.
Amazing. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think it's very exciting to see how that continues to evolve over time. When you, one other thing I'm curious about and kind of want to dive into is I feel like obviously you're established very well as an artist, but I think over time, I mean, you've really become an avid vocal collector too of the actual art and collectibles. Yeah. And I think like you as a collector, I mean, really has this almost like power to like move markets and shine a light on some really important projects. What has it been like adjusting to this role of being an influential collector in addition to just being an artist?
No, I wouldn't say I'm an influential collector, but But thank you.
You are in our book, man.
That's cool. No, but like honestly, I love when people collect my art. So I know the feeling I know the feeling. So I was like, dude, I just want to collect so many pieces now because like I'm in a position where I made like a decent amount of money where I can just like sit and create art. So if I can collect stuff that I like and help other people in different situations to just have a little bit more freedom, dude, I won. I literally I won. Like so yeah, I love collecting. I love like what I like the most is showing my collection to non-crypto friends that doesn't understand NFTs. And I'm like, dude, do you know how much I paid for this? And they're like, no, how much? And I tell them, and they're like, you paid this for a fucking image. You're a fucking idiot. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm stupid. Like, but I don't know. Like, there's something so cool about like collecting art and collecting digital art. And to me, I'm more present in the metaverse, like on Twitter and everywhere than in real life. I don't have a bunch of friends outside of Twitter, basically. I have Victor, Beige, and Mad Dog, and like Euphoria and a couple of people, but like in Vancouver, I have like maybe five friends. And like I love like to be able to show my Twitter friends my fucking collection, you know. And I don't know, it's like having a Rolex. When my dad bought a Rolex when he was younger, it was like, hey, yeah, look at my Rolex. I don't know, it's kind of satisfying to see like your collection growing and other people collection growing and see what other people are collecting. And it's also a challenge to collecting that are nice because now everybody can look at your collection and be like, oh shit, he collected this, what the fuck. And I don't know, it's a cool game. I feel.
Totally, and I love just everyone's being able to wear multiple hats these days, which that they couldn't have worn in the traditional art space, and it's just exciting to see. As we kind of bring the interview to a close, I just wanted to hear, what are you excited about for the coming months, the rest of the year? What are you working on? Obviously, you've got this Christie's drop. Just let us know what you're excited about.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I'm excited to work less and just do art. This is pretty much what I'm the most excited. And when I say work less, it's not like not work at all, but just not work 80 hours, but maybe like 30, 40 hours a week, which is a big change for me. I'm so excited about the fuck crystals that I'm releasing. I know there's a shit ton of collectible project, but I think this one will be fairly different. And I I mostly do this for people more than for myself. I feel like a lot of collectible projects are just like cash grab, and I can't wait to show the pricing of the crystals. I think it's gonna be very interesting in the usage of them. And going aside of the initial question, but like to me with these crystal is like I I was kind of tired of people always wanting utilities to my art, because I feel like art shouldn't necessarily have utility. So I wanted to split both and use being able to release one-on-one, and if people want to collect my art, they'll be able to collect my art with limited edition, very limited edition, and one-on-one. Like there's not going to be any open edition anymore. And so if people wants to collect my art, they can collect my art. And if they want to support me and support my project and want NFTs that has utilities, they have the fuck crystal. So that was my way for myself to bridge both together, and not bridge but separate the my art and the utility part of NFTs, because to me it doesn't make sense that 10 out of 10 as a utility in the future. Like if to me, like, collect my art or don't collect it at the end of the day. Like, but yeah, I'm excited for the fuck crystals. I'm really excited for Fvckrenderverse. I've hired a couple of people to help me develop it, and we've been working hard on this lately. So it's going to be pretty cool to see the new updates. I'm so excited about Manifold. I think they're really shaping the NFT space, and they're really they're really making something great out of their skills. And these guys are just so fucking smart and so helpful in that space. And I think people should not overlook them. They should really pay close attention to what they're doing, because they're gonna do great in the space. And yeah, like, dude, there's so many things I love from that space. I love what you guys are doing. I think you guys are shaping that space so well. And you, like, people like you are so important to spread knowledge and just like meet new people and understand what new people, like, people are, where they come from. I think this is one of the most beautiful thing that we have in space, is people like you guys that spread that knowledge. But yeah, there's too many shit for real. It's I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine, like, not a very friend of mine, but like a hometown friend of mine from high school, and he asked me about NFTs. Dude, I spoke to this guy for 5 days straight, what NFT was, and like, he was like, dude, you're so fucking passionate about this. I was like, dude, you have no idea how passionate I'm about this. Like, it's just so crazy. It literally changed my life. So that's pretty much why I'm so passionate. I want people to understand what it is and to come in with the right intention as well. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man. Well, appreciate all the kind words. And I think it goes right back at you too, man. I think it's people like you that are operating from the right intentions, looking to uplift others in the community, trying to set a precedent for the what is a kind of fun, holistic, like truly expressive and authentic way to create art and build community in this space. So really appreciate you coming on today. Really appreciate all the work you're working on and everything that you've got coming up, and wish you nothing but the best of luck, man, going forward. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for real. I fucking appreciate you, and thank you for the patience. I know I've been hard to get in the past few weeks. I'm so sorry about this.
You can't rush greatness, man.
Thank you so much.
This is it, man. Really enjoyed that episode. Super smart, grounded guy. Took the fall with the cybersecurity. Went to cybersecurity school on behalf of all of us. So grateful for those contributions. Really excited for all the work he's got coming up. What stood out to you, Matt?
Yeah, no, like I just think that he, really brings a level of depth and vision to his work that I think a lot of artists could learn from. And I love the fact that he, wasn't scared to roll the dice a bit and collaborate with other artists and put some artists that he really liked on. A lot of artists are perhaps sometimes even a little too overprotective of their brand, and I love the fact that he approaches it from the position of trying new things and experimenting and working with artists that he likes. The other thing, is just, I think it's so cool to hear him talk about how important and these major auction sales and recognition are for the 3D community, which really just never really got that time of day from the traditional art world. And it's just he's really helping lead that charge, and it was just really, really powerful to hear him speak to that.
Yeah, 1000%. Well, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, would really appreciate it if you could leave a review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this. That'll help us get good feedback from you guys, or constructive feedback. All feedback we love and appreciate. But it also helps us reach some new people and some new listeners. So if you have time, do that. Other than that, we'll be back next week. Super grateful for your continued support. And until then, we out.